Hey, what is up, guys? It's Idom. Um, I actually don't know what I'm going to be doing for introductions. I'll probably just roll with whatever's on my mind. I don't want to be too cliche and just have something stupid, especially since I don't really plan on this whole YouTube thing getting too awfully large. I do highly appreciate the support I've been getting. Like, I genuinely really surprised it's been taken off as well as it has, which is awesome. So I want to thank everyone for that. But today I just want to talk about some Need for Speed Payback things. Don't mind what's going on in the background. I'm just gonna have this playing. Here's a terribly stanced Miata, just just cause. I'm just gonna get rid of it and build a car while I talk about some things real quick. Got some things written down that I want to talk about and that are kind of concerning to me, and things that I hope they do with the game. And it's pretty much just things we'll probably find out when it comes EA Play, I think is what it's called, time on the 10th and 11th, where Need for Speed is going to be playable. um, just a couple things. Let me switch cars real quick. Let me check what I've got here. So the first thing is more JDM classics. I have it written as more JDM classics, more Euro cars, and bigger variety. So like this game, it's pretty obvious that everyone was really upset with this game, and one of the reasons being was there wasn't a large selection of cars. Let's see what we have here for like Euro cars. We had BMW, Volvo, Volkswagen, and that's pretty much it. There were Mercedes, I guess, and I'm not gonna include. I'm actually not even gonna include Mercedes because they were supercars, Porsche, and whatnot. But I'm not gonna include supercars on this list because I mean, obviously they're all gonna be European, most likely, with a couple of American cars. Maybe they'll throw in like the LS500 Lexus or whatever it is, IS500, I don't remember, and maybe the RCF, which would be pretty cool, but I don't really consider those supercars. But for Euro cars, I would like to see Audi, which we did see an Audi in the trailer actually for a very split second. It was very hard to miss. It showed the girl sitting in it. I noticed the seat said S on it and whatnot, and Black Panther mentioned that in his video. But like we've got BMW and stuff in this game, but I was really hoping to see both more Volkswagen and just Audi in general. So we had the only Volkswagen we even had in this game was the Mark One, which is really cool. I love seeing Mark Ones in games. This little guy right here, but I mean like a Mark 5 Jetta to stance. I mean that's pretty much what this entire game was about, was stance and whatnot. And I mean, what better Euro car to stance than a Mark 5 Jetta or Mark 4 even? It would just be really cool, or like a brand new Golf R. Like, I mean, why not, right? Obviously, they're not going to go too in depth with how many cars they're going to add to the game. Need for Speed is all about quality over quantity, most recently. So, as far as Euro cars, that's all I'd like to say there. And then for Japanese, like we have the MX-5, the 8.6, and all the iconic ones, Type Rs, Supra, you know, the basic crap that they do in video games. But I'd like to see more kind of unique ones, like a probably Chaser, other Toyotas like that, Chasers, Crowns, whatever you want to put out there. Nissan, probably like Laurel. Obviously, they're not going to do all of that. That's stuff that they're not going to waste time with. No one's going to buy it. People that buy Need for Speed aren't only stance guys, car enthusiasts, racers, all that. They're not the types of guys that only buy Need for Speed. The people that mostly buy Need for Speed are people that just want a racing game. They just want an arcade racing game to have that people buy for their kids and whatnot, so they're not going to put boring looking cars in there. Like, people are going to see like a Nissan Laurel and not going to think, oh, this is basically just a Nissan Skyline. Skylines are performance cars. No one's ever going to think that. They're going to think, oh, this is a boring car. Like, people probably saw like the RSX even, or like the 8.6 and Golf and the 242. They're like, oh, these are beyond boring cars. I don't want to mess with those. So no one's probably going to use them, you know? I mean, they are first tier cars, but like the Golf, like that's probably arguably the fastest car in the game, not even gonna lie. Like, it's probably the fastest car in the game once you fully build it. Like, I have hard time outrunning one with anything else in the game. And What else for Japanese cars? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Let's see what I have for the second topic here. And variety, obviously. More American muscle, more classic Mopar, which they did show a 69 Charger, which is awesome. I can't wait to play with that thing. Because in this one, all they had for, and a Camaro as well, all they had was Mustangs, which, I mean, is cool for American classics. I'm pretty sure that was all they had was Mustangs, and I'm a big Mustang guy, so, I mean, that's cool for me, but most people hate Mustangs, so, I mean, it's like, whatever, you know. And then for DLC, people are asking for free DLC in this game. That is an awful idea. Let me tell you why. Because in Need for Speed 2015, this game right here, the reason it failed was because they were adding cars like this. Actually, they only added this car, the M2, and the freaking 32 Ford was way back there. And I think that's actually it for DLC cars. They promised us an entire year of monthly DLC updates, and they didn't do it because they weren't making money off of it. Obviously, it was free. They promised free DLC, and they were going to break that promise, and they didn't break it, but they just stopped adding DLC, so I mean, technically they held their truth, but I would have rather had paid for DLC and just had them add DLC and have to pay for it than them just completely quitting on the game in general because they're not making money on it. So, I don't know. I mean, you could say what you want there, but it's obvious that they're gonna have to add paid DLC or just kill off the game again after 6 months of only adding, what, 3 cars? On top of... Oh, I guess they did add the GTR as well, but it was just a reskin of the old GTR with a little bit more power, so that's whatever. The map. So this map was very large, but it was broke off into very small sections. Like, this map wasn't much to... There just wasn't much to do on this game, honestly, as far as like the map goes, because you spend most of your time in the central area. One thing I hope that they do, this would be the best thing that they could do with the map, is if they have a large map again, they can have a warehouse in each section of the map. Sorry, I've got a little bit of stuffy nose, so that's probably why I sound really weird, so just excuse that for a minute, but they could have a warehouse in each section of the map where all your cars are at. They don't have to keep certain cars in certain warehouses. I mean, they could do that. That would be kind of cool and different, but it wouldn't be necessary. But it'd be nice, because then you could just stay in certain portions of the map and not have to stick to one central area, and it just gets boring. It gets redundant, because you don't want to have to fast travel to a different area or even drive all the way to the other area of the map. It just makes the rest of the map pretty much useless after you're done with the career, basically. And then, or like if you want to do certain races, I guess that works, but after you're done with that race, you're not going to stick around in that area. You're going to go to a different spot and hang out or whatever. But whatever. And then, physics. Now, it's hard to tell from just a trailer where there's no actual gameplay, but it did seem like there wasn't much of an improvement. Now, Black Panther did say in his video that he got first or hands-on gameplay with the game earlier on in development, and he said the physics did change. He didn't say anything more than they changed. Now, I don't know how much they changed. I don't know how much better they are. He said they're better, and that's it. They changed and they're better. That's all he said. So I hope to God they are better, otherwise they're killing their game. Which I'd imagine they would make them better because they know for a fact that's what killed their game mostly. So there's that. There's not much to say about that. That's pretty self-explanatory. Stupidity is another point. So stupidity kind of falls into another thing that I have listed here. I'll just go to that one real quick. Let's see. Concerns with customization is the other one that I'm talking about here. I wrote specifically, I hope to God they don't put blowers on everything for drag cars like they do in those arcade racers with the steering wheels. So what I'm talking about is like you go to an arcade, or like you go to like Red Robin, for example. I don't know if every Red Robin is like this or not, but they have games in the waiting area. And one of the games is like the Too Fast, Too Furious game, or the Fast and Furious or whatever. And you choose a car, you choose a modification, you choose a track, and you race. Well, on every single car, when you do an engine upgrade, there is a blower sticking out of the hood. So what it seems like they're doing in this game is that they're for the drag racing portion of the game, they're just putting a blower on the car, wheelie bars, slicks, and skinnies up front. Which the slicks and skinnies is really cool. That's really awesome to see that in a game because you can kind of do that in 2015, but it's not quite the same. But there is a bit of a problem there. That means there's not much customization. I mean, granted, we've only seen two cars, which is the Datsun and the Mustang. But the Datsun having a blower instead of like a massive turbo sticking out of the hood or whatever, or like you can see the inlet of the turbo through like a hole in the hood or whatever, you know, which would be way cooler. Or like different variations of everything. I mean, possibly you can. Okay, so that also leads to another thing, is you can probably V8 swap, because you're not going to put a massive blower on a 2.4 inline 6. Like, it just doesn't make sense, first of all. And on top of that, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So, V8 swaps, like, probably like a 302 or like a LS or a 350, that would be really cool. So I hope they add that. And, hold on, I gotta take a drink of water real quick. Excuse me. So, okay. It's hard to explain, honestly, because it's kind of like one of those gray areas with the game that you're probably not gonna do it too often. So I don't want to talk too much about that before we even see gameplay. But it is very possible that they're going to do something stupid like that, which I could see, kind of like the Crew does, where you take apart the Skyline and you can see a V8 under the hood, or like wherever, you know. But online, I could see it being very similar to this game and FS 2015, where you just kind of do your races, you can invite people to the races, you can hang out at spots. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, especially since the online of Payback is going to be separate from story mode. So that would be neat. Just have it kind of the same, where you could, or even what would be really cool is car shows, where you could actually have car meets. Because that's one thing that people were asking for in this game, where you could have car meets and kind of like just look around at other people's cars and whatnot. That'd be really cool. Not much to say there. So for customization overall, I want more options. Like, let me get this Sylvia real quick. Alright, so, like, on the back of the Sylvia, I want fitment. A lot of people like fitment, like, just stance cars in general. I'm not saying everyone's into stance. A lot of people hate it nowadays, but I'm somebody that's still really into it, and I know there's a lot of other people that are really into it, but, like, if you look, it looks hideous. I mean, I know, I think I have it set like this on purpose because it's a D1 car, but maybe not. That's actually just how it looks, I guess, but I have it like that, I guess. But nonetheless, the stance on this game is just awful. It's garbage, and that's one thing that was majorly advertised, was you could stretch the wheels, you could stretch the tires, you could camber the car, you could slam it, but in reality, the cars are not very low. Like most cars, you have to wide body the car. I guess this is a bad example. Like this, like look how low this is with a Rocket Bunny kit versus any other kit. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like I want my car to be that low without having to do a glitch to get it that low with this body kit. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know. It's just something that's really small and nitpicky, I guess. But I mean, if it's something that you're going to advertise the game with, then it should just be in the game and more in depth. And another thing is, what is it called? The sculpting function. I don't remember what it's called. Auto sculpt, I think it is, with bumpers and wheels and stuff. Now I'm sure they'll add that. It did look on the 350Z in some variation. I'm pretty sure there's a 350Z in the commercial or the trailer. It looked like it had what was called the chicane bumper from Pro Street. I would put a picture up on the screen, but I don't have a computer or anything. I'm actually doing all of this YouTube stuff off of my PS4 by itself, so I don't really have much of an option there. But chicane bumper. So it looks like there might be auto sculpting in the game, or whatever it's called. I'm 90% sure it's auto sculpt, but I could be very wrong. Let's see what else I have here, because that's pretty much all I have for Alright, that video is apparently 15 minutes long, so it cut out on me. But anyways, I could probably make an entire video just on customization in itself. So I'm going to stop myself there, because I can't think of anything else at the moment while I'm reading this list. It's kind of distracting me. But, okay. Another thing is police. So they have a very large emphasis on police in this game. And they're notating it very heavily that they're going to be difficult. So what this means is basically like in this game, so police were very, very boring in this game. Like I've been in a couple pursuits on this game where I purposefully let them just build up and then I try to outrun them, and it's a little bit difficult. And if you hit a spike strip, it's pretty much game over. You're screwed. I've ran from a spike strip like once on this game. And to put in retrospect, let's see how many hours I have on this game, even if I can see. Let's see. Hours. 265 hours on this game, and I've gotten busted by spike strips once. Or ran from spike strips once. And I've been in plenty of pursuits. So, if that tells you anything, police are kind of stupid on this game, I'd like to say, because they're really easy until you get to like the really high-end cops and you hit a spike strip, and then it's just game over. That's how it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And on this next game, they put an emphasis on rhinos as well, which is cool. I haven't seen rhinos since not Carbon, Undercover. Pretty sure they were in Undercover. I don't know. I haven't played Need for Speed after Pro Street, or Undercover. I mean, I played a little bit of Shift 2. That's pretty much where I cut the line. So I don't really remember a whole lot about the police in these games, I'm not gonna lie, but I do remember them being pretty entertaining, especially Most Wanted. Most Wanted, I remember I could sit and run from the cops for an hour, and when I finally run from them, it's the best feeling ever. But they're really making it seem like in this game they're gonna be physically impossible to run from. I don't know. That's just what I gather from it. Especially with the emphasis on rhinos. I don't know. I just hope they kind of balance out NFS 2015's cops. Like they just add a little bit of difficulty and a little more cars. I mean, honestly, like at most points in this game, you'd have one cop chasing after you. It's pretty stupid until you have like 20 after you. Basically, that's how it goes. Like, I hope. Sorry, I need to drink water again. I hope they do the same thing that they've always been doing, you know, heat levels. I'm pretty sure I do remember them talking about heat levels or seeing a heat level thing. I don't remember. But that would be nice. I mean, progressively get harder and harder. But that's enough on that. That's pretty self-explanatory. Let's go on to, let's see if I can open my notes. Okay, so my last thing, this is really stupid, but something I just want to put in there. This goes along with like the drag cars and drift cars and whatnot. Now, I noticed on the drag cars, I only wrote down drag cars for some reason, I don't know why, but like the tires on the back, they looked like they were like the 70s style, just radial wide, like 325s that they'd throw on the back of like 400 horsepower Camaros and whatnot, but these cars are doing wheelies on the streets. Like if they're pulling tire, they're not going to be on some street radials, basically is what they're, just super wide street radials. And they had like Kragers on them. They had skinnies up front and like super wide Kragers on the rear, but the tread was way wrong for what they were actually doing. Like if they could add Hoosers and whatnot and like actual street slicks and like cheaters and whatnot, that'd be really cool. But I'm also from a city where street racing is really big, and I actually see cars pull a tire on the streets. And I live in the city where 1320 video came from, basically. So I don't know. That's just something I wanted to say. I doubt it's a big deal to anyone else, and they'll just probably ignore it, which doesn't really matter. It would just be kind of cool if they paid attention to detail like that. And like drift cars and whatnot, I noticed only the drift cars being like super low. if you notice the picture of the garage where it shows the 350Z in the background and the Raptor and the Charger and the Camaro, obviously the Camaro and the Charger and Raptor aren't going to be super low, but the 350Z was basically touching the ground, like it was sick. I hope it's not only the drift cars, because I don't want all of my cars set up for drifting, but I do like having cars that are pretty low. But it also brings to another point, kind of being that they're more ability focused, I guess you could say. I don't know how to word that, I guess. But it's kind of like a drift car's going to be low. Like, people make drift cars pretty low just for style, because they're not going to be drifting on a super bumpy track or whatnot. They have, like, Ebisu, and cars kind of hit bumps once in a while, but that's not that big of a deal, really, to them. So, and then, like, track cars are not going to be stupid low, because they do have to hit bumps, and they have to corner, and you can't corner with the car that sits half an inch off the ground. And obviously drag cars aren't going to be slammed and whatnot, and off-road cars aren't going to be slammed. But, like, as far as, like, the drag cars go, got that covered. Off-road cars, really not much you can do there. They're off-roady. They're going to be lifted with dirt tires. They're pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. I saw that 56, or I think it was a 55 Chevy, and I was like, good God, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So I'm pretty excited to play with those. I hope you can do that to almost any of the cars. I hope all of the cars in this game are pretty much moddable to their specs. Like, you could have like a 55 Chevy drift car. That'd be pretty cool. It'd be really different to see, really. Or like a 240Z off-road car. That'd be awesome. Just trying to think if I can think of anything off the top of my head. But let's see if there's any other things that I can think of just by looking at my cars. No, I ain't even got anything in here. I really feel like I'm missing something here. Let me check my notes. Got physics, cars. Yeah, no, that's about it. I'll probably be doing a part 2 to this video if I can think of anything else, because at the moment I actually just can't think of anything, but I feel like there's more stuff that I'm missing. I'm just going to do it as I speak, and I didn't really spend too much time making the notes. I was like, here's some things that I can think of, here's what I want, you know, so I'll probably just end the video here because it's already stupid long, and I'm going to have to throw it all together and share play, because I don't have a computer. So yeah, I'm just gonna end it there. Let me know what you guys want from me, I guess, if you even make it to the end of the video, which I bet 99% of the people won't, but that's beside the point. If you do make it to the end of the video, just let me know what you want from me, I guess, as far as commentaries. I obviously don't do them very often, but I do have plans to do them more often. I'm gonna be doing, probably after the beta ends for GT Sport, I'll be doing like a top 10 things that I want for the game. That kind of stuff, and I'm gonna wrap this video before it ends again. So, yeah, peace out.